Right, the first thing is, this is explaining where we start from in the School of the Built Environment, with the idea of building up a database, collecting everything that is available that relates to design and well-being. So this work started back in 2005 when I first came to the UK, and is still moving on. So now building on top of the work we're doing related to dementia. So the idea came from trying to understand the evidence-based design approach, or use scientific evidence to fit into the design process, and basically criticize the Vitruvian Man designed by Da Vinci, where you have a 40-year-old man very fit in the environment. So not everybody's the same, people have different needs. So we question that. So what are the needs of different groups? So our research question was then, does the built environment impact on health? We start with design as a broad question, and it was too broad for us to handle at that project. So we had to narrow it down. In particular, we look into the design of hospitals as a critical area where people need more assistance from the environment. So this screen is a yellow just to see what does it impact on you. If you think in the fast food chains where everything is yellow and red and shine and polished, that makes you go away of the place. So you feel in a way a little bit of anxiety. So there is an element that the things around you will impact in the way you behave. We just don't understand yet what it is. So the principles that we are working on is that a normal person in a good environment will have intelligibility of that environment. A not well person will have a distorted version. Now imagine all the background noise in a hospital, right, that happens. So for a normal person it will be difficult. For a person with some disorder would be impossible. So we carried out a systematic review, which is a very, very long and thorough process trying to identify what is available in terms of scientific information. So these are some of these steps. And what the most important is having a lot of patience. It's a very detailed work where you look item by item, what it is, what's impacting, and on whom, and which is the environment is being investigated. So just to give you an idea, so trying to look at the databases that were available, in this exercise we found 293 different scientific journals bringing information. Now imagine you're a designer trying to use that information. Where are you going to go to? How are you going to find having 300 different pathways to find that information? And how do you bring that information together? Another difficulty is a multidisciplinary field. So I found publications from artists, physicians, psychologists, architects, nurses, engineers, sociologists, ergonomists, and all of them using a completely different vocabulary. So it's a massive exercise of education, trying to learn the base of the glossary terms that I could understand what the research was bringing about. So obviously we were trying to understand what the theories. We found 11 different theories. There's no consensus amongst them. So that at the moment it's impossible to justify cause and effects relationship, but we can say there is certain correlational aspects that we can link. So yes, the built environment is impacting on people. We just don't know exactly what is happening in the brain. So to structure the information, we had to understand what was available in terms of impact, how do we measure impact, how do we classify the people that have been impacted, and how do you structure the environment that is being investigated. So we built up on top of existing works that you see at the bottom, who did the work on the specific areas. So the findings shows, right, yes, for different groups, there are different reactions. It's not just about age. Every 3 years, we change the way our body is formed, right? So when we reach around 45, there will be a decay, right? So, and we have to understand that and design better for the different groups. Cultural issues also impact in the way we perceive the environment we are in. In terms of the built environment, it's a very atomistic field. So you have a very large hospital, and inside the hospital you have units. Inside each unit you have settings. Inside each setting you have furniture, equipment, systems, and each of them will have a set of different characteristics, and are those that are impact on you in isolation or as a composition. So this is just an example. For instance, the smell, things that we don't see in the elements, a particular color or a set of color that come together, having access to outside views or instead of being isolated inside a building, natural light and artificial light, different textures, right? Or different types of surface, a polished surface or a more soft one. In terms of impact, so it can be either psychological impact or a physical impact. In terms of understanding, it can be at the macro level, at the cell level, or at the macro level. So how do you feel, right? It tends to be in this area that we're putting more emphasis now. And the results can be positive or negative. Just to give you an idea how big is the area that we're dealing with. This is a map that we built up with the evidence that we found. So with the source of evidence, the individual characteristics, the environment where it's being investigated, and the results. So basically here you have a brief overview of the article. Here you know who has published in the area that you might be interested. Also you understand the gaps in the research. So that is what we intend to do, to build evidence models where you can start link cause and effects relationship, right? This is done in medical area for medicines, for instance. And so where you see there's not one cause, there's a many-to-many relationship, right? So one cause can have many effects. At the moment, right, in design and the built environment impact on health, this is under construction. We know what the elements are, right? We just don't know, we're not sure exactly how these things are linked together. But we have a starting point that is building bigger and bigger databases that can incorporate the data that is available. So now, from the yellow picture I showed earlier, I want to show this is a hospital. It's a hospital for children, right? Instead of having this aggressive, you wouldn't recognize as a hospital. You would think more like a school, perhaps, right? But for kids going to a hospital, there is certain calmness. You know, there's certain elements to stimulate curiosity rather than the panic of taking a child to the hospital. And I think we should follow more of this good design. And the message that we're trying to bring is that the built environment does impact on us. The environment impact on us in the sense that everything that is good makes us grow and develop. So now we're trying to understand from this perspective and taking the work to understand how this impact with people with dementia, right? So this is the follow-up of the research. So just the credit is because I have to acknowledge all the information where it came from. A big thank to you. If you want if you have questions, just contact me at any time. Well, thank you very much.